I broke in. You were talking about Ole Anderson earlier.
Yeah.
I remember one time being in the office at Charlotte, Crockett Promotions in Charlotte, where they had like a studio to film stuff and concrete floor. And because we're just showing up, we're in Too Green to have matches, but I'm getting paid, so I'm like showing up, hanging around. Sometimes we just hang around and watch interviews. Me and Spivey are standing there. And Gene Anderson has us taking bumps on the concrete floor.
Gene, I never got a chance to watch.
When I met him,
he was like 100.
Yeah, and he was working they had like a desk job, and he didn't have much to do with him.
Right.
But now he's telling us to bump, and so we're taking bumps on the concrete floor. And part of me's thinking, man, I'm going back to the strip club scene. What is this all about?
Yeah.
This is BS.
Yeah.
And then he goes, you had enough? And by now, and I'm thinking, screw this wrestling. I said, yeah, what is that, a trick question?
Yeah.
Like, am I tough enough to keep doing it, or am I stupid enough to keep doing it? What?
Right.
And then he went, God. Actually, I'll never forget, J.J. Dillon walked through right about then. And J.J. was the first guy to show me anything about working.
Really? J.J.?
Which is something I always go to. J.J. was there. He was Dusty. He always worked with Dusty real well. He was the detail guy. Dusty painted with the broad strokes, and J.J. filled in the fine points. And he walked by, and he said, no, here, put me in a headlock. And we worked the top wrist lock.
Yeah.
And I do that all the time with guys. I got my kid doing that. I said, work the top wrist. Nobody does it. It's new. I got my son do a top wrist lock takeover. I said, do it. People who understand wrestling will go, oh, wow, I haven't seen that in years.
Right. Yeah.
It's so funny. I feel so relevant now in the wrestling scene because I got a son who's in the New Japan dojo, and we DM back and forth all the time. And I often say what I need to hear. Like I'm telling him, just keep grinding one day at a time, put one foot in front of the other, keep going, keep going. And then I'll read it back to him. Wow, I need to apply that to me. But it's just, I remember we moved here to Georgia. I moved here with Dally on his invitation. Now I live 2 blocks from Dally.
Right.
And he goes, and Cody moved here, and I remember we were riding to a show one time, and I go along, just film his matches with him. I hang out in the locker room with the guys. I walk out with him. I don't like to distract from what those guys are doing, so I stay in the back. I learned early on that being his wrestling coach and being his dad, there's a division there. Because I like to catch guys like Tully did with me. Right as soon as you come through and go, hey, what were you thinking there?
Right.
And you go, well, I was thinking this. Well, because it looked like this. So with Cody, I would say that, and I go, Cody, what were you thinking? Well, I was thinking this. And I go, yeah, well, see, it looked like this. He'd go, yeah, but.
Right.
So that's when I realized, oh, I get it. Because I'm just dad to him. I'm not Razor. I'm not that NWO guy.
Right.
I'm the guy who made him eat his vegetables.
Right.
So then I figured out how to deal with that. So I just say nothing until he asked me.
Right.
So he went through the development where being a worker means, I know how to do moves. And I'm thinking, oh, yeah, okay. I don't say anything to him now. I just let him do his thing.
Right.
Then we're in the car after one match. He goes, Dad, none of these guys will do what I want to do. And I go, welcome to pro wrestling. It's one thing to be able to do moves. Now, talk the guy into taking them. So he goes, okay. Next road trip, Dad, how did you get guys to do what you want to do? I said, you know what worked for me, Cody, is do what they want to do first. Put them over first. Then they can't wait to put you over.
Right.
So it's just that it's so funny for me to be on this ground floor level with him.
But now you're handling it at a different angle than...
Well, I'm hoping I'm doing a little bit wiser,
Right.
And I always yield to him. I go, you do what you feel.
Yeah, because ultimately he's got to learn it.
Yeah.
And feeling and that is hand in hand.